I see the strongest and smartest men who've ever lived. I see all this potential. And I see squandering. God damn it, an entire generation pumping gas, waiting tables. Slaves with white collars.
Marcus Garvey got my right, Drew Ali got my left side. Hook pulling for devil's hides with a valley of death stride. Blade dirty like it doesn't shower, tongue is the sword. Morris Master MC Moore, ISFM Lord. Accent of Tony Martin and Kwame Ture. They poison Steve Coakley, exposing the black bullet. Threatening Ivan Van Sertima with deportation. To his own land he's in, so you know some Masons. I'm pulling strings to shut him up for saying all next. Speaking the truth of those existing before Toltecs and Aztecs and Mayan. So-called blacks are the Hawaiian and the American and the free white man. Stop the blood clot crying. Irish nigga fighting a dancing monkey. Disgrace the race, slap a mumble rap junkie. Take your mask off, show you the future, give you nervous sweats. Listen to yourself singing about Molly and Percocets.
Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes. Working jobs we hate, so we can buy shit we don't need.
I see y'all wearing skinny jeans and sagging in sports bra shirts, calling Hochi to bury them in Calgary farm outskirts, too grizzly to bear. I fear falling off this frisbee, I swear. Never mind sight impaired, stay on my square. 7 and 4 quadrant ring, I'm on my knees not praying. I'm strangling gin with Rudraksha beads. Some might say mala, some might call it a Buddhist chain. In times of war, everything is a weapon just the same as everything above has it below. Check the facts and Solar, if you can find one, ask a pharaoh. What Orion and Sirius have to do with the plateau of Giza? Ancestors thought project place to place like Freezer. More scientists, Sufi, shut up or down believers. Make those with little faith become ancestral receivers. Through signs and symbols, rhymes and signals, either abandon or get your birthright like a retriever. Abandon or get your birthright like a retriever. No need to bring it back, you need no shepherd. Stop being a sheep, black, stop wasting effort. Stop letting traders chill, drop them off in deserts. I buzz a dinner, a sellout, before I get the hell out. I listen to what Drew Ali taught, he didn't have to yell out. Ref, bring the bell out, Shango, the chicken heads out. Merge shaman stones and tiger eyes, help the spell out. Cool Bay, the reason El Shabazz and Ali fell out. More's disgruntled and watching people with brows crumble to be exalted, but praise themselves, never humble. Begging for props, wanting segregation, but calling the cops, then calling them racist after someone gets shot or beat to a pulp or choked out. R.I.P. Their ancestors let your devil self haunt their dreams. Tortured forever and ever, have peace never. So low, make their head hurt with biometric pressure.
Little children of history, man. No purpose or place. We have no Great War, no Great Depression. Our Great War is a spiritual war. Our Great Depression is our lives.
As I jump off my mind's cliff into subconscious depths, knowing my higher and knowing my lower self, falling past my thoughts that got me in trouble. Realizing ego is a burstable bubble. Falling backwards seems like there's no end or bottom. Cut out the good, I see no thoughts rotten. No modern European's mentality, all Asiatic. The scent of this fall, aromatic. Tea tree oil and frankincense so intense. Demons beaten from outside make no indents. Plus no entrance without the mastermind key. Thoughts of Allah wasn't Allah, but actually me, divine being. A national, actual, factual, or a scientist, seeing things mathematical. Law is length, angle, and width. With mind strength, mangle a sith. When devil's horns burning, sulfur I whiff. Lower self, third eyes crushed, that's the weed in my split. From these lows, the only way to uplift. 40 days and 40 nights working the graveyard shift. Battling zombies, which are my own that exist. Playing my emotions that string strum or Congo drums. Seeing things and hearing sounds, no fear around. Looking down, not seeing the ground, but feeling my crown. Pulsating so profound, soul unbound. Inhale for 7, hold for 4. Exhale for 7, hold for 4. Double door 11, walk through the gateway frame over eternal flame. No burns, no regard, unreal as unreal, no blame. My pure freedom and bliss, demigods trying to contain. On my journey of learning fear, embracing pain. Since love heals on the path of living cognizance, patience is a virtue. I'd rather take the long distance. Aware mental clearness, mind's tailless with fierceness. Harlots seduced to get me locks and beardless. Electromagnetic helix induce the voltage. Begging ancestors to increase the dosage. Produce a strong field, rubbing together shaman stone balls, releasing the stress. Calling Orishas, decreasing my breath. But are you really breathing? Knowing or believing? I'm master fruition and receiving from birthright retrieving. Are you in trance without doing a ritual dance? Paralysis, magic reversal on the square stand. Harmonic lyrical mudra from Islam Sutra. Elevate thoughts, wake up your inner Sibyls and Buddhas. Master your will, not desires. Awaken Kundalini fires. Truth spoken to MCs higher. Medusa, you liars. Bagging heads and horns and tails for mystic functions. Ritualistic, perched at the junction where demons go to and fro, dressed as the sheeple, selling them rights, civil and pseudo rights equal. Blood flowing past a horse brow didn't circle your passion. Celestial thread of my ancestors tailored my fashions. Fooling people with their words and people not watching their actions. Ignorance of law is no excuse when something happens. Feeling odds and reading postures, moving bionic. Monsanto seeds turn you psychopharmaceutical chronic. Got their eyes bloody, blood muddy for blood money. They gave me nothing, so can't take nothing from me. I love the quote, you will respect but don't have to love me. They gave me nothing, so can't take nothing from me.
Islam Moors, we're out of IG jail. We're out of IG jail. Give thanks for all the Moors out there, knowing about their truth and truth about their nationality and birthrights. Honors to all mothers, and supreme honors to the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, who we give the most honors to, because he is the man. He's always going to be the man. And anybody else who's talking crazy about nationality and birthrights, I don't care what their name is, if they're not talking about Noble Drew Ali, or they don't have him up front, like he's not the man, they're a fraud. And we're not talking about a little one mention his name, one of 800 lectures. One of 800 lectures, they mention his name. We're not talking about that. We're talking about giving him the most supreme honors. Before anybody starts talking, they should have their own 15, 20 minutes. Before they get into their subject matter that they're talking about, they should have 15, 20 minutes on the impact of Noble Drew Ali. Before they start talking about silver and bonds and whatever else they're talking about. And if they're not giving Noble Drew Ali his 15 to 30 minute intro of everything that they do, they're a fraud. You go back and check our record. We've been reading the letters to be read every meeting for the past 10 years. We're reading the letters to be read every meeting that nobody's reading. So we ride with Noble Drew Ali. We ride with Noble Drew Ali. We know he's the man. Even in the casket, he's the man. He's always going to be the man. So Juali told these Moors, after the European goes back to Europe, mountains of gold will be revealed to the Moors. The mountain of gold revealed in the Congo. Nobody told you? Well, you know Noble Drew Ali said that's going to happen? How come nobody said that? How come everybody could debate the metaphysical meaning and the great debaters about Congo finding mountain of gold, and they're not talking about Noble Drew Ali? Who told you in the 1920s that this stuff is going to happen? How is this? How did some Moors make up some oral statements and they're coming true? How? You still think Noble Drew Ali is not the man? You still think people who are telling you about trust and injunction and join their government or whatever is the man? They're the man? Ask them what prophecy they said that manifested. Any one of them, including us. Ask Grand Chief Kudro, hey, what prophecy did you say that happened? What prophecy did I say that happened? Me personally? The prophecy I said that's going to happen is that Noble Drew Ali is the man. That's the prophecy that I said. And guess what happened? Noble Drew Ali is the man. But everybody wants to ignore him, pretend like he has nothing to do with what they're doing. But you're going to go support them. And Noble Drew Ali told you, all that finance is going to burn up in your pocket because you want to play games and not support what he's doing. All right. Then you have nothing. You have messed up families. There's messed up children coming from these messed up families. Our people as a whole have nothing to show. Zero, nothing to show. We're actually in the negative. That's how much nothing we have to show. These weirdos in North America. Mountains of gold are being revealed to the Congolese. Why? Because they know about their nationality. And they sent the European home. Man, no big deal. That's what it is. You know, Belgian, remember the Fez and cut the hand off and all that stuff? The guys who killed the people or whatever like that. No? Remember those people? The Belgians, who people never talk about, but they're going to talk about some guy with a fez with a machete cutting off people's hands. But they're not going to talk about the Belgians or the French that were there. They're going to tell you about the Moors in the Congo. How come they don't tell you about the Europeans in the Congo and what they did? I can't hear you. How come they don't tell you about what the Europeans did? How come these people always bring up what the Moors did? You know, these same dumbasses in North America who call themselves scholars or whatever, Runoko Rashidi and all these people, James Smalls, we're not Moors. Moor means black. It's coming from the Greeks. All right. The whole crew, the whole black African BS crew, who would never tell you about the Belgians. They'll never tell you about the French and the atrocities that those people did to the Congolese people, but they're going to tell you about some Moors that cut off some hands of some Congolese people for the European. How come they don't bring up the European? How come they only bring up Moors? Because they work for the European. All these people got degrees from some Europeans. I mean, they don't work for the European. Modern European on top of that. So the Congolese do. They kick the Europeans out of the Congo, and the mountains of gold got revealed to them, just like Noble Drew Ali told these dumbasses in America this is going to happen. And that's going to happen, and they're still not going to ride with Noble Drew Ali. They're still not going to ride with Noble Drew Ali. They're going to ride with everything else. but they're not going to ride with him. They're going to ride with names of titles and stuff like that he created for some organization. They're going to go with names of councils that he brought up. They're going to go with names of all this stuff. But what about the individual? What about the Allah in man that created those things? So you just want to parade around like you're more Science Temple of America without giving honors to the foundation of who created it? Oh, you want to be Moorish movement and you want to have your sovereignty. You want your sovereignty to have an injunction. Right? I self-law master. China, Moors, making people diplomats, which is a foreign jurisdiction. And you're looking at, please, how come these people who are telling you about injunction and let right be done, though the heavens should fall. Attention and warning to all city, county, state, federal, and international public officials by and through Secretary of State. Take notice. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Notice of estoppel and stipulation of constitutional challenge to all District of Columbia and state statutes where no general law affecting private rights shall be varied in any particular case by special legislation except with the free consent in writing of all persons to be affected thereby, and motion to intervene with an injunction for name, DBA, name. This title is for your protection. They're going to go through all this, and they ain't telling you about Noble Drawley. They're going to have a website telling you about 500 different fucking courses that you could take. For 500, you're going to go pay. The stuff not work. You're going to be sleeping out of your car or whatever like that. And then you're not going to go strangle these people? So hold on a second. They just got you for $1,500 for some injunction that you're going to send some paper to some Europeans who are supposedly the government, right? And you're in there in your paperwork talking about Secretary of State of something. What Secretary of State of what? How does Walmart have a Secretary of State? Does Walmart have a Secretary of State and a president? Find me McDonald's with a Secretary of State's office. They're going to write a writ to the Secretary of State of McDonald's so that you can enforce some rights. Notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent. What principle? What principle are you talking about in a democracy? What are you talking about? What principle? Who are these people that don't exist that you're writing writs to and you want to know how come you're not getting no response from them? And then you're talking to them as a fiction. But you're going to go to these people, pay them $1,500 to go buy some dumb package that's going to do absolutely nothing for you. And then we're telling you, those guys over there are pedophiles, they touch children, and you're talking about, oh, you're mean? Why are you talking to them? Those are your brothers. You shouldn't talk to your brothers like that. You people are lucky that we don't have a Mare of Steel right now for you to ride. Oh, you're so lucky this isn't long ships. Moors. Praise Allah that this isn't long ships. Because these Moors out here, they don't care about Noble Drew Ali. They don't care about Noble Drew Ali. They ride with their oppressor friends. That's who they ride with. Who they ride with is their oppressor friends. That's their crew. They're not about your liberation. They're not about none of that if they're not talking about Noble Drew Ali. If they're telling you about Cash App and they're not telling you about Noble Drew Ali, you better not be going to their Cash App. You better come to our stuff. Because we've been talking about Noble Drew Ali's letters for the past 10 years that nobody reads. Still right now, they're not reading it. And they talk about they honor Noble Drew Ali. Yeah, study your Quran, your 101 questionnaire, your divine constitution, and anything else that I brought you. And you're over here telling me about some holistic lady and they have CMOS. The U.S. Nigger Industry by Taj Tariq Bey. Page 39. Many unconscious Moors have been, by way of ignorance or by informational betrayals, made to feel comfortable with bureaucratic forced servitude. Made to feel comfortable. Made to feel comfortable with the servitude. They're so comfortable. They're so comfortable with the bureaucratic BS that they're going to tell you $300 for a nationality bundle package. Get this nationality bundle package, $300. And you're so incompetent, you're not thinking, wait a second, if nationality is inalienable and inalienable rights can't be bought or sold, how come they're talking about they're selling an inalienable right? And then your dumbass isn't questioning it. You find there's the problem here? That all these people out here that are saying sell you a package they have to put nationality in there. That's how they try to, put their fingernail on Noble Drew Ali and make you think that they're down with what the program is. They're not down with what the program is. They're package sellers. They are comfortable robbing their people, right? Just like European does, with the bureaucratic forced servitude. They're comfortable selling you an inalienable right. Under the guys that they're working with, the European colonists over there, Illuminati or whatever like that, they stole it from you. So why are they selling it back to you? If they stole your stuff, then why are they selling it back to you? So hold on a second. So let's analyze this. European came here, stole your birthright, right? Parading around the world like they're the ones. You come back to your senses of your birthright because this man named Noble Drew Ali. Because other than that, you're Negro, black colored, nothing applies to you. You're just somebody's nigger. And that's your position. And anybody else who has nationality rights or whatever, then they're doing whatever they're doing. Noble Drew Ali comes, gives you back nationality and your birthrights. Then after him, somebody else comes and they're telling you, pay for this thing that those Europeans over there stole from you. And then you're paying. Both of you are riding the mare of steel. The package seller for violating international, violating universal, violating every type of law that there is. They violated it by selling somebody a package and calling it nationality. That's a supreme violation to universal law. Because nobody could sell rights. And selling rights is the most corrupt thing that you could do. And the other one who's riding the mare of steel is the one who bought the package. Because clearly you're dumb. And we don't need dumb people in our nation. And we don't need traitors. We're not talking about retarded people born that way. We're not talking about them. They get, because they're gods in their own right. If you talk to some of them. So we're not even talking about them when we say dumb and retarded people or whatever like that. We're talking about real dumb and retarded people that are going to go pay 500 notes for a sheet of paper that costs 10 cents to come out of printer. Oh, because it's on the bond paper, that means 500. Bond paper costs 50 cents. What are you talking about? Both of you are traitors and would ride the mare of steel. Because incompetence can't fly. And it's incompetent for you as a sentient, thinking being to go pay for your own stuff. That the person who's selling to you, they know that this is yours. And that European over there stole it from you. And then somehow they got it. But they're not giving it to you. They're selling it. Why this? Brothers and all this stuff. How come they're selling me the stuff back? And then you go with it. Oh yeah, here's the 500. Then you get played. Now you want to talk to Grand Sheik. Now you want to talk to what happened to before you paid the 8,000. So would I be wrong to hit you for 8,000 right now because I'm assisting you to get out of your BS? Or would I be right in my position? If you went over there and bought a package for $5,000 and it didn't work and it didn't do anything for you, after you realize that you got played, and you're saying, well, I heard that there's some Moors over there called Canaanland Moors. I heard they talk with everybody and anybody could email them. They had their email being promoted for the past 10 years. Email just there. You just send an email. Phone number just there. Same phone number. When you reach out and say, I was talking to some guys over there and I bought a package from them for $5,000. They told me some papers and I lost my house. I'm sleeping in the car. I spent my first and last month's rent. I was supposed to, they told me that they're going to take care of me. Can't reach anybody on the phone. I tried calling, but they're not replying. Oh, they're sending me back messages. They don't want to give me a refund and all this. They provided a service to me, so it's my loss. Ha ha ha! You're not getting no money back. Would I be wrong to tell you $5,000? $5,000, and I'll get you out all your problems. No, I wouldn't be wrong. I'll be right to do that. Because now I'm really providing a service. Now I'm really providing a service that I can say $5,000. I can say $5,000. There's people telling you $5,000, and then they're coming to do a lecture, and you guys sitting down reading the same book that they've been saying that's the book for the past 10 years. And they show you nothing else. And they keep showing you the same books over and over again. They got a big library there, Moores and all that stuff. They got showing you one book. $5,000 for a lecture. And then people are going to go pay. Then the righteous Moors who are just out here, and you know what I mean? We'll do it for free. Ain't no big deal. They're not even donating $1. Say, you know what? That's some good work you're doing. Here's $1 for, doing this free thing for us. Since, you don't get anything. Here's $1. Because we are students of Noble Drew Ali. And Noble Drew Ali told us about the robbers and told us about the traitors who are going to do things against what he ordered. And we've been seeing them. And that's all we talk about. Because there's nothing else. Everything else you want to find out, go study. Stop bothering active Moors. They have work to do. You don't have time to be answering your questions, and you just go study. Just like how they went and studied. Same person you're going to go ask the question. How do you think they found out? Somebody told them? When they say, oh yeah, let's call up a seer and see what he says about whatever. Why are you going to him for? Oh, because he studied, right? Okay, so why don't you just study like how he studied? Like what was he got some secret vault where he's getting information from or something that you don't got access to? It's universal information. Oh, I wish I had Taj's number so I could call him and call him for what? Call him to be a vampire and just suck him, just on his back, just sucking his neck. And of course he's going to open the neck up because, you know what I mean, he's the man. He ain't worried about you sucking on his neck. Still going to do the work. Hedges and the highways with you on the back sucking the neck. And doing it for the prophet and all that stuff, for the nation, not for his self. There's obvious misrepresentation going on with regard to this information. And a lot of it has to do with the people. Right? Because the people, they don't want their nationality and birthrights. That's why President told Drew Ali, it's like putting a pair of pants on a horse. You think you're waking up some Negroes? You know what we've done to their minds? You know what we've done to the Negroes' mind, Noble Drew Ali? You really think you're going to bring some Islamic whatever to wake them up? You're not waking them up. They're Negroes forever. But, we'll back you. We don't care. Because we already know that you ain't getting all these people to do anything. That's why Drew Ali said, respond to him. There's only going to be a handful saved with fingers left over. So you don't worry about who I'm going to save and all that stuff. You just give me the flag back and I'll handle the rest. And everybody ignores him. Very few, just like he said, few faithful Moors. Remember, the boat has left the dock. We ain't trying to convince anybody anything. If you don't got your birthright yet, then I don't know what more you need to hear. You still haven't figured this stuff out yet? Yeah, just do your thing. Well, matter of fact, we should do that one. Let's go hunt in Let's go hunt. Let's go for a hunt. Let's go for a hunt on Canaanland moors. See what we find. Let's go for a hunt. Let's go for a stroll. Let's go for a stroll down Canaanland moors IG and see what we find. Because you probably didn't get the message. Probably didn't get the message.
Leader guys and girls around you keep talking about, well, they didn't really understand. They're lying too. And because you keep defending a fraud, they've entrenched themselves and they're damaging you and your families to the point that many of you are a paycheck off the curb. Let me tell you something. You ain't seen the horns of these demons yet. You think you have. Stop supporting them. And we know the rule of cause and effect. If we could just get you to stop allowing them to document it. So when these people keep pretending they don't understand constitutional obligation and treaty obligation, they're lying. And when you and the so-called leader guys and girls around you keep talking about, well, they didn't really understand, they're lying too. And because you keep defending a fraud, they've entrenched themselves and they're damaging you and your families.
Like selling you packages, telling you come down here for the lecture and all that stuff, $5,000, and then they'll just play from one book, not teach you anything, waste your time. Want to start up some nation? Yeah, we're starting up the Moorish nation over here, and then it's only brothers. And you don't realize that you're getting played. And people just really don't want to go get a job or whatever. And they're bored. So they're going to play you. And then you're taking your job stuff, and then you're funding them, and then you're seeing them with, big stuff on their wrists, and all of a sudden they're the man, and they're on, podcasts with the guys who playing you. And this stuff been said a long time ago. That's why we pull up stuff like U.S. Nigger Industry by Taj Tariq Bey. We're not going to pull up some House of Ram video and think that that's where that came from. No, it's not. He's been talking about this for the past 40 years. You just start talking about this stuff yesterday. Oh, you just found out, so now you think you just found out what this is about? No, you have it absolutely twisted. It's clickbait. That's all. That's all it is. But what they're really about in the background is playing you. This is just a face that they're using to make you think their spot is where it's at. Just like Moorish Consular Court used his face. And they celebrate his birthday, and people are coming there to push their agendas on him for sanctioning. We're Arab chamber Moors. We're not dummies out here that don't study and don't understand what the hell's been going on. Taj Tariq Bey is the top Moorish known YouTube video, whatever. everybody, dirty Moors included, know him. And they don't know him like know him. Like know him like, for example, when we lectured near North Carolina, myself, Dr. Aleem Bey, Seton Ra Bey, and Taj Creek Bey. Me and Taj slept in the same room. You know what I'm saying? Know him like that. They know him like, oh yeah, that guy over there, oh, him, he knows about Moors. Oh, the first time I heard about whatever, there was this Moor with a... They're talking about him. Right? He's the number one influencer of Moors to be Moors. The number one influencer in our generation. In our generation, anybody who says that they're Moorish anything, they know about him. So for these people to start up their little BS and then put his face on it, and because they know he's not going to talk and say, well, no, you guys can't use my face and all that stuff, he's not going to do that. It's just not his character. He'll let you hang yourself. He ain't time to waste with you and all that stuff with your BS that you're trying. Because his job is get the information to the people. Regardless if he has to go in the lion's den, in the snake pit, in the rat hole, he's going to go there and tell them the rats about their nationality and their birthrights. He's going to go about his business. Right? We know this. We know that people have been using his face and his name as clickbait to get followers to think he's down with them when he doesn't even relate to them, talk to them, or nothing like that. They're just using his face because they took a picture with him at some lecture, or he autographed their paperwork, so they know him, so they could use his name as some type of... But he's not going to say anything because that's just not his. So we'll say something for him. That we know you people are full of BS. We see through all your BS that you're trying. Matter of fact, me and the Moors are building, we're saying what he's really doing is talking to them on their own platforms. Talking to them to their face. But they're going to keep bringing him under though, because they know that his face brings them 600 people. His face brings them views. His face brings them cash app. Let me tell you some BS that they did to the elder, that people don't want to acknowledge that they did. While he's working, on his hands and knees working, people are over there sitting on chairs doing nothing while he's working. How you take advantage of that? How you take advantage to the point where somebody comes to your house to fix whatever. They come to your house to fix whatever, and you're chilling. You're just chilling? You're not going to go help them do whatever? No, well, they don't need the help because they're professional or whatever like that. That doesn't, that means nothing. What do you mean? Aren't you the host? It's your house. I swear you're the host. These people come here to fix stuff at my house. They don't want to leave. Where are they going? Anywhere's better than here. I'll chill here with another 10 minutes. This is a real good coconut water right now. thanks for that conversation that you're a Moroccan and I saw your fez over there on the table and all that stuff. And yeah, my great granddad has, we got pictures at the house. It's amazing that you're a Moor. There's some Serbian guy fixing the cabinet. Some Greek plumber guy come over fix the sink. Moors? Oh yeah, I know about Moors. I see you're a Moor. I see you got your fez over there. You got a Moroccan flag. Oh yeah, it's amazing. How come your people don't know? How come our people don't know? I won't tell you. Let's let Taj Tariq Bey tell you. The U.S. nigger industry. Before all the face on the consular court stuff and face on the House of Ram and face on everybody's DVD and everybody's podcast because they want to show that they know the master teacher, but they're never reading the U.S. nigger industry to you though. They'll tell you about some BS about Pope letters and stuff like that. But they ain't going to go to the foundational stuff. They ain't tell you about deep state and dark webs and all that stuff, but they're not going to go back to the foundational books. You don't go back to books. They're links. These are the link people. Link generation. And they're not connected to anything. What link? Weakest link. Many are in enmity against their own blood and have been some of the most powerful allies, supporters, and defenders of the Roman colonist dogmas and their forced Christian conversions and womb ownership controls. Flesh sales and adhesion contracts have been one of the European slaveholders' most lucrative and profitable slave controls. And so, with the creation of their prima facie and twisted concoction of the Negro identity fiction, the occupational Europeans have successfully compromised truth to help its promotion and propagation. And they're helping them. They're not looking at helping you get saved. They're not looking at assisting you to be saved. They're about helping the colonists, keeping you enslaved. Helping the colonists keep you enslaved. Right? Helping the colonists. And then people are going to talk crazy in the chat. Send a link. Send a link, and then you're not accepting the thing. Like, why wouldn't you accept the thing? It's real simple. Just push the thing. Talk crazy in the chat. Ironically, the sellout and compromise agents among the suppressed are themselves among the suppressed and targeted victims of this deceitful and falsely placed Negro brands, appellations, and tags. It is upon this proven and perverted mastery over this linguistic psychic matrix of human mental twisting that the European aliens have based and consecrated their arrogant claims of being God and sovereigns over the Americas and over the civilized world. The occupiers have now proclaimed themselves to be the superpower of the world and are exalting themselves above all that is called God and that is worshipped. So that as the descendants of the Roman nation's colonists, by corporate primogeniture, they reign in the house and lands of another, showing themselves in churches, temples, and within the houses of government as God and sovereign. Thus, they boldly claim the status title, white, and this is proclaimed throughout the land by both European masters and their artificial negro servants. The negro servants. We and other conscious Moors have consistently addressed and spoken of the malicious theft of the nationality and the birthrights of the Moabite Moors of North America, and of the introduction of the artificial brand names and of European cognomens, which were also imposed upon the Moors as Negroes, blacks, coloreds, Smiths, Jones, Johnson, and other European cognomens. If you got any questions, put it in the chat. It has long since been exposed, proven, and objectively taught that the subjugated and suppressed peoples of North America, Central America, South America, and Americana, the Adjoining Islands, who have been tagged, branded, and falsely referred to as Negroes, blacks, coloreds, Indians, West Indians, Latinos, etc., are without doubt the direct and or mixed descendants of the ancient Moabite Moors. The Asiatic, African, Moabite Moors were and are the true, ancient, aboriginal, and indigenous natural people of the land, North, Central, and South Americas. Nigger Industry book by Taj Street Bay, not some House of Ram video. Even though you're gonna get the truth in the House of Ram video if you're listening.
Time to represent yourself knowingly. Now you know, so don't pretend you don't know. How about doing that? Institute that. Help your family with that. That'll help us move ahead quickly. Because remember, we're in the doo-doo because we keep swimming across the turd pool. Jumping in the cesspool calling, oh, how you like my back room, my backyard pool here? It's a cesspool. Well, we need our own perfume factory. Well, if you stop jumping in the cesspool, you won't need perfume. How about that? It's like you see a bunch of people standing, banging their head on the edge of a brick building talking about, ooh. You know how people need their own aspirin factory? A little child comes along and says, well, if you stop banging your head, you won't even need aspirin. And you keep on violent. You complain about them misrepresenting you, then you sign and misrepresent yourself. Knowingly. Now you know, so don't pretend you don't know. How about doing that? Institute that. Help your family with that. That'll help us move ahead quickly. Because remember, we're in the doo-doo because we keep swimming across the turd pool. Jumping in the cesspool calling, oh, how you like my back room, my backyard pool here? It's a cesspool. Well, we need our own perfume factory. Well, if you stop jumping in the cesspool, you won't need perfume. How about that? It's like you see a bunch of people standing, banging their head on the edge of a brick building talking about, ooh, ooh. You know how people need their own aspirin factory? A little child comes along and says, well, if you stop banging your head, you won't even need aspirin. Yeah. And you keep on violent. You complain about them misrepresenting you, then you sign and misrepresent yourself. Knowingly. Now you know, so don't pretend you don't know. How about doing that? Institute that. Help your family with that. That'll help us move ahead quickly. Because remember, we're in the doo-doo because we keep swimming across the turd pool. Jumping in the cesspool calling, oh, how you like my back room, my backyard pool here? It's a cesspool. Well, we need our own perfume factory. Well, if you stop jumping in the cesspool, you won't need perfume. How about that? It's like you see a bunch of people standing, banging their head on the edge of a brick building talking about, you know, our people need their own aspirin factory. A little child come along and say, well, if you stop banging your head, you won't even need aspirins.
The boat has left the dock. The nigger industry. Taj Street Bay, that they'll never show you. They'll tell you go watch some video. But you miss all these parts. That reminds me of Bobby Emmett. If you ever see the video, I don't know if it's on YouTube or whatever. There was a lecture with Bobby Emmett and the Nawapians or whatever. Bobby Emmett speaks to the Nawapians. So there comes a point or whatever after like maybe like an hour, 2 hours or something. These Nawapians are like, yo, so like, where's the info or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, we was sitting here for like an hour and a half, like you haven't dropped nothing. I was like, what? What do you mean I haven't dropped anything? This is not some Dr. Malachi York. This is the ancient information. This is the ripping the freaking Nawapians to their face, ripping them to shreds. Ripped them to shreds to their face. Think they learned something? No. They're still Nawapians today, ain't they? Yeah. Tamaray, no. They don't even play Nawapian Moors anymore. Violating. Just because they know they can. Because, you know, Dr. Malachi York is their jurisdiction, so you can't talk about, you know, Clarence 13X because you're not Nation of Gods and Earth's perfect. No, all that's more science. Stop the madness. Stop the madness. And if you're gods of Earth and all that stuff, then you should know this stuff right here, right? Nigger industry, Taj Street Bay. If you're gods and scientists and all that stuff like that, you should know all this, right? We, more scientists, will begin a process of assisting in the solving of the corrupt Negro problem and the industry which has been built upon it by exposing the truths about the Negro, its biological origin, and the evolutionary process which evolved into its current social misusages, etc. The reader is firmly reminded that the words Negro and nigger have an original, organic origin, troglodyte, and now also through social engineering and misplacement serves a political and social caste function. One of the deductive reasoning processes which we will exercise in the process of dealing with the Negro problem is known and called reverse polarity. This implies exactly what it is, in that it is the conscious act of reversing the negative processes of the negative effects which brought about the polarization of the Asiatics of North America, who have been branded and misguided by the vampires of Europe. The application of reverse polarity involves a method of presenting known and or accepted pieces or parts of information and nuances with some lesser known yet relative histories and information in such a manner as to counter the negating effects caused by those same neutering mental suppressants or toxins, miseducation, by which a natural person or natural people have been twisted or turned against self. It is through this said mental twisting false belief system and legal chicanery that the Negro fiction corporate political creation is made and sustained. The final product of the misused polarity is civil artifices or corporate persons, as has been concocted for the uniqueness of the institutionalization of that peculiar form of human fodder. The forced European inquisitionist colonizers are jealously protected. This corruption is vital to the fakers who are using occupied and colored government in North America as a base of operations. That was page 43. Right? So if they're not for the Moorish nation as a whole, and they're for their little crew and their little group and their little organization and their little whatever, and they're not for the nation as a whole, they're working with the Inquisition colonizers who they know. It's not like they don't know this, because, you know, these people are supposed to be the ones who know something. They can't pretend like they don't know what's up with the Inquisition. Don't do it. Don't do it. They don't know who the Moors are. Cultural encounters. The impact of the Inquisition in Spain and the New World. Cultural encounters. The impact of the Inquisition in Spain and the New World. Cultural encounters. It goes without saying, though I'll say it anyway, that despite his reference to Plato's Know Thyself and the realm of philosophy, Rivera is really talking about what Francisco Marquez termed el problema del rigor inquisitorial, elsewhere becoming more specific about the potential danger and destructiveness involved in knowing other people's lives, that is, saber vidas ajenas, as a weapon of an Inquisition-crazed society. He observed that I have never seen a man insult another without prying into the life he was leading, without scrutinizing his bloodline, every branch and twig of his genealogical tree, or without disinterring his ancestors. These last remarks appear in a letter addressed to a friend who had called recent converts to Christian dogs, Moors, Jews, and pigs. With even greater force and specificity, Rivera writes that one solitary blemish will dishonor an entire generation. A stain on the lineage of some country bumpkin affects no one beyond him, but a stain on a hidalgo's blood affects his entire family, because it sullies the reputation of his forebears. It serves to disinter his ancestors. It leads to the investigation of his living relatives, and it corrupts the blood of those yet to be born. That's what traders are about. And their work is done to assist the Inquisition in your constant, repetitive mental servitude. In Hispanic terms, it was a utopian dream that a neutral society might awake from the nightmare of history, offering neutral spaces and public places where the descendants of Moors, Christians, and Jews might mingle civilly and socially, a social system in which differences in culture made no difference in society, so that different peoples could survive and flourish in and through their differences. All this friend Scipion is preaching, says Berganza, and of course it is. But it was a sermon that Moorish dogs barked and Jewish pigs squealed, that new Christians and even some old Christians preached, with the hope of achieving in Spain an open society, that kind of society which, in the words of the spiritual new Christian Henry Bergson, it is deemed in principle to embrace all humanity, a dream dreamt now and again by chosen souls. It embodies on every occasion something of itself in creations, each of which, through a more or less far-reaching transformation of man, conquers difficulties hitherto unconquerable. Cultural encounters and the impact of the Inquisition in Spain and the New World, and U.S. nigger industry, Taj Tariq Bey. Make sure you go to rvbaypublications.com, get all the books on there, because you don't need these YouTube pages. You don't need these IG lives. You need information in your hands that you read, not somebody's interpretation of something that they read. Them reading you what they read, or you going out and getting the literature so you can read what was presented to you. Because other than that, you're dealing with robbers, thieves, conniving, backstabbing individuals who would sell a package to your grandma, have the skeleton hand sticking out the dirt with the finance, and they're taking it. And they'll leave the paperwork right there at the gravesite for your grandma to proclaim her nationality and be a secured party creditor and have an exemption account in the casket. That's how dirty these people are. I don't know why they go anywhere but RV Bay. I don't know. I don't know. RV Bay and MHHS, eyes wide open. That's about it. If you really want to know something, like for real know something, you go to check some of them archives. See what you get pulled into. Right? And tributes to true inventors been there. Been there. You know? And oh yeah, and we want to put it on the record too. Obviously, we're bringing up the master teacher to give honors to him, not the platforms that you might have seen him on. So don't think that we're backing any platform that you've seen him on unless we mention it. So because we ride with the master teacher, don't think we ride with everybody who's around him. Because we know that there's traders and there's clickbait people who are using Taj Tariq Bey's fame and nobility to make a name for their selfish self and do absolutely nothing for the Moorish nation as a whole. Nothing. Only for their selfish self. Just remember that. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. You got 5 minutes. If you have any questions, put it in the chat. Yeah, if you got some type of interaction with the master teacher, that was your personal. That was your personal for you to take and do with it what you're supposed to do with it. I mean, you tell me about, yeah, I just bought a coffee for this homeless guy. You know, I'm just going to go live and show you that I bought a coffee for this homeless guy. No, you did that to try to go viral and help the homeless guy. Yeah, I gave a video clip myself giving people this finance so that you can see we're helping the people, but we have to videotape it. You can't just do it out of the love of our heart with no cameras around. It has to be a reality TV show that we're helping these people who could use the help by videotaping us helping them every chance we get. Here's a Cash App. You can support us to keep supporting the people who need the help the most. And their eyes are big and they have wrinkles in their forehead or whatever, and you're taking them serious. You're not looking at them as a robber. Playing you. Honors to all the mothers worldwide. Honors to all the Moors in the chat, all the Moors worldwide. Honors to you. Supreme honors to our Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, because we know he's the man. We already know what's up. Let's just, before we close, let's just put it out again for the Moors who didn't know. That another prophecy of Noble Drew Ali has manifested. Mountains of gold being revealed to the Moors. Remember, the Congos were the guys with the fezzes on and stuff, getting their hands cut off and stuff like that. Remember? So there's Moors in the Congo. Remember, and Noble Drew Ali said, after the European goes back to Europe, mountains of gold will be revealed to the Moors, and then Belgians who are Europeans and French who are Europeans used to be in the Congo, and then they went back home. And then we're seeing mountains of gold revealed. Just in case you thought Noble Drew Ali wasn't a prophet and all that stuff, just so you know. So you think things that he didn't say in the 1920s aren't happening right now to let you know that he's a prophet and that you better get on your nationality and birthrights, because that's all you got left. There ain't nothing else left for you out here. Everybody else sold out to the other side. Everybody sold out to the other side if they're not riding with Noble Drew Ali. And you know who's riding with him, because they're not going to bring him up. They're never going to post his picture or whatever. They post everything else. They didn't even tell Moors anything about Noble Drew Ali. But they'll tell you about their new whatever package that they got for you. So honors to the Prophet, who's the man. And you'll keep putting your name out there and giving you the most honors, because you're the man. And with that, we yield the floor. Islam to all the Moors worldwide. Oh yeah, and don't forget, tomorrow, 3 p.m. Get on the call. Get on the convention call. Don't sleep on it. If you think that you want to do something, you think you want to do something, you want to try, well, yeah, and happy 11th day to all the Moors. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. You don't have to go on and say nothing. Just see, what the Moors doing. Here's what some Moors are doing. Just wanting to be Moors and handling their own affairs. So if you're not doing anything tomorrow, 3 p.m., just get on the call, see what's going on. Just to see what's going on. So that you could know what's going on with some Moors. Because there's Moors out here who are doing their best with what we have. And all of them are not out here with clickbait. Got Taj's face there just to try to get you to be part of something. Some Moors out here doing some things worth doing. So honors to all the Moors worldwide. Peace and love to all. Stay true to the cause. Honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and honors to all mothers worldwide. Islam.